Do you want to know what the media isn't telling you about the Airbnb bust and why so many people's Airbnb revenue is just being flushed, going right down the drain? And why what they're telling you is the cause of many people, maybe including yours, their Airbnb portfolio just totally being wiped out, and your hopes, your ideas, your desire to be able to use Airbnb to create that financial freedom for your family is now just potentially just being washed away. Well, what I'm gonna tell you, what I'm gonna share with you now is why that's really all a fallacy. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna show you how our Airbnb revenue has not been affected, which totally dispels that myth. And I'm gonna show you some things that you can do that will allow you to get that enthusiasm again, to be able to go out and get your stuff going again and know that this stuff can be done so that you can have the financial freedom, escape that 9 to 5, be able to spend that quality time with your family, getting out of the rat race, building that legacy with your kids and your loved ones and your grandkids. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. And then eventually, if this is also what you desire, being able to use Airbnb as a vehicle like we've done to build generational wealth. So now let me just give you a little bit of history with Airbnb and the trend of how it has gone up, has gone down, and what the media is deceptively not telling us and erroneously telling us. In 2020, 2019, when Airbnb went public, Airbnb made a ton of money. They came out of the box swinging. They hit the stock market with a market cap of $67 billion. They were only expecting to do about a $47 billion IPO.
Company's initial public offering, or IPO. This launches the company onto the official public market, where any company or individual who believes the business could be profitable might buy a stock.
Today, Airbnb's at $75 billion. They're the biggest hospitality company in the world. Bigger than Hyatt, Hilton, Holiday Inn, Marriott, all of those companies, and they own no properties. Why? Why is that relevant? Well, it's relevant because all these other companies, they have properties, they have buildings. Airbnb has the thing that the richest companies in the world have, and you all know them. Google, YouTube, Facebook. What do they have that's different? They have this algorithm. The algorithm, their platform is what makes them the richest companies in the world. Airbnb uses that same algorithm. Okay, so how does that affect you? So during COVID, when COVID hit, most people went to zero when it came to Airbnb. Why? Because the world shut down vacation traveling and tourism. And that was what 95% of all Airbnb hosts use Airbnb for. They get their bread and butter is the tourists and the vacation travelers. Well, by the grace of God, that is not our bread and butter. Our bread and butter is business travelers. And so because of that, our business travelers were continuing to travel throughout COVID, and we didn't go to zero. We were even more profitable that year than we were the year before COVID. Forward fast, the second year of COVID, we almost doubled our revenue the second year of COVID. This is where most people kind of start seeing this Airbnb bust thing, right? At that point, as people started getting more familiar, they started opening up, giving stimulus checks. There were a lot more people traveling at the end of the second year of COVID. They wanted to get out. You remember the summertime? They wanted to get out. They were traveling. They were using those stimulus checks, and the states were opening up to allow people to come again. Well, if you had an Airbnb or you were even thinking about an Airbnb, you would have made money. And that's what most people did. People were making money during that time. So it looked like everybody was just doing well, which they were, but it wasn't sustainable. Why? Because it wasn't the norm, right? It was just an influx because people were just tired of just being cooped up. Well, a couple things happened. Once it started to stabilize again, people like myself, professional hosts, the algorithm began to normalize. And it started sending people like myself that have hundreds of listings started sending them more of the business again, because we knew how to optimize, we knew how to keep that platform safe, we knew how to give them the experience that they wanted to have, which is their guests enjoying, their guests spending money, their guests coming back, their guests telling more and more people about Airbnb. And so we got the rewards for that. Now, Airbnb did this other thing. They went out and they hired Johnny Ive from Apple. Johnny Ive was this, I mean, if you don't know him, research. He's the guy behind the scenes that was responsible for iPad, iPhone. Like, he worked very closely with Steve Jobs on these projects. And he was also the mastermind behind having Apple's customers become like fanatics about their product. Like, people know if you're not an iPhone user, then you may not know, or you may know. You don't know from a first-person perspective, but anytime you talk to an iPhone user, they're like, "You're using an Android?" He brought over Johnny Ive so that he could bring that same magic to their company. How do we get our customers to become fanatical about the stuff we do, so that they're using it, they're coming back, they're telling more people, their experience is just amazing. And when that happens, it not only does it make our lives easier, but it brings the profitability through the roof. So the algorithm is now focused on guest experience, right? And with guest experience, with that algorithm changing the way it changed so quickly, and they didn't tell anyone, like, I only know this because of all the listings that I have and all the listings that all my students, the tens of thousands of listings that we all have throughout the world. Like, I know what these changes have been because we mastermind about it. So in any case, to put it in a little small package for you, their algorithm changes have been so that they can focus on what the guest experience is. And when most people who are not professional hosts and they're just putting stuff on Airbnb and don't really understand how to play the game with Airbnb to satisfy what their biggest thing is, their biggest desire, which is to have a platform that people love. And so they don't know how to optimize their listings, and they're just modeling the next guy who's also doing it wrong. So you couple those two things. One is the algorithm normalizing and, well, the traffic normalizing, because now everybody finally got out, they spent all their stimulus money, they're going back to work. And you couple that with the Airbnb algorithm changing, now much of their revenue is gone. It's back to where they were before. People got discouraged, they think Airbnb doesn't work, and it's sad because I talk to so many people. And by the grace of God, though, we have, we're, because of our YouTube channel, because of our academy, because of our students, like, we have so much success, and we're not afraid to share how we're getting it. And so those platforms are platforms that people that really, really have a desire to use it, they get to use, they get to grab some of that information, the free stuff, the paid stuff, and they implement it. And boom, they realize that it's just a fallacy. This stuff really works. We're still making millions of dollars in this space, and you can too, and they can too. And so the Airbnb bust is really a myth if you choose to believe it. It's really a myth that's being put out there that will either wipe your stuff out, wipe your dreams out of financial freedom, exiting your 9-to-5, getting out of the rat race, if you choose to believe it. Or, on the other hand, if you use Airbnb the way that Airbnb wants you to use it, and guess what? It can be very successful for you as well. At one place that you have, there are tens and tens of thousands of people that want to book your place. The only problem is they just don't know it exists. And the more people that will know it exists because you're using the platforms properly, the more you're going to be able to do what you desire to do, which is to have the freedom, because of those platforms, Airbnb, because of the cash flow that it's giving you on a day-to-day basis, without you having to run around like crazy. And then when you see that it works, what do? You just get more and more of them. That's what we've done. You see it works, we just add more and more to our portfolios, and we're not having to buy them because we're leasing all of our places. So that's a whole different conversation on another video where we show you how to do that. But this really does work, and it doesn't have to be a bust. Don't let the media kid you into believing that this stuff doesn't work. It does. I'm living proof. And I got thousands of others, to include my kids, who are in their 20s and are financially free because of Airbnb. Right? So, again, hopefully that was helpful. It's only a fallacy. It's only a myth. It's only a distraction if you know really where the abundance is, really what the truth is, and you get to choose which one you want to believe. The truth, the abundance, or the fallacy and the lie. If you choose the truth and the abundance, you do it the right way, then you're going to get exactly what you want, exactly what you desire, exactly what you've envisioned when it comes to using the Airbnb platform. The family, freedom, the ability to escape the 9-to-5, the ability to get out of the rat race so that you can spend more quality time with your family, so that you can build that legacy with your kids, your grandkids, so that you could help family members who really, really need it, so that you could be more of a blessing to your church and your community, so that you could change some of those generational cycles like we all have, so that you can begin building that generational wealth. And then here's the key. So that now, those gifts and those talents and those passions that you've been blessed with, that we've all been blessed with, that your kids have been blessed with, now you have the time. You got the resources to be able to grow and nurture those gifts, those talents, those passions in a way that you can really make your mark on the world and on society. Right? Don't let the myth, don't let the lie keep you from that. It works. I'm here to tell you. And if it was helpful, share this with someone. Share it. Comment below. Helpful. Whatever you want to comment, just let us know it was helpful. And I'll also send you some more free tips that will allow you to be able to understand the truth about this stuff, to help you and make your whole Airbnb experience not only easier, but much more pleasant. So with that said, God bless you, and I'll see you on the next video.